Breaking news, folks. Bob Iger buys popular thing for way more than it's worth. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Bob Iger and Joshua Kushner have bought the Los Angeles Lakers at a record $12.5 billion. Let's talk about it today on That Park Place Vash. This is one of those stories where I'm just like, what is happening right now? What is going on?
Well, I will say, Marvin, Bob Iger has been courting, but basketball. I'm sorry, he's been courting the NBA for quite a while. Well, I had to do it today. But no, I mean, back in the day, actually, when he was retired the first go round, the word on the street was that he was actually going to acquire the Phoenix Suns, which was very, very interesting. Unfortunately, that didn't go through for Mr. Bob Iger right there, and obviously the price went up on some of these teams and franchises, which is why he may have found a partner in very interesting bedfellows.
So Bob Iger, let's take a look at what he did here. Former Disney CEO Bob Iger is getting into the professional basketball business in a massive way. Iger and Thrive Capital founder Joshua Kushner, brother of President Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner, have reached an agreement to purchase a majority interest in the Los Angeles Lakers from Mark Walter in a deal that values the legendary NBA franchise at a staggering $12.5 billion. I can't believe Bob Iger had that much, like even like a percentage of that much money sitting around. CNBC reported Wednesday that Walter had sold his majority equity in the Lakers to Iger and Kushner, citing a statement announcing the transaction. A person familiar with the terms told the outlet that the deal values the Lakers at $12.5 billion. The Associated Press separately reported the $12.5 billion figure, which would establish yet another record for the sale of a professional sports franchise. It is a remarkable turn of events, not only because of the enormous price tag, but because Walter only became the Lakers' controlling owner, Vash, last year when he bought the franchise for $10 billion just a year ago. The NBA governors unanimously approved Walter's acquisition on October 30th of 2025, with the league announcing that the Buss family would retain an ongoing ownership interest in the franchise. Now, Jeannie Buss, who the people who used to own it, was also set to remain the Lakers governor for at least 5 years following the transaction. That means that Walter is turning around and selling his majority equity less than a year after the NBA approved his takeover. This is like turning over a boat. Like he flipped it. He flipped it. He was just like, wow, I can get this status obsessed moron who drove the Disney company into the ground to give me way more money than I paid for this. And for Bob Iger, there would have been no price too high to pay for the Lakers, because not only are the Lakers a professional sports team, but they are a status symbol in Los Angeles.
Oh, the Lakers, goodness gracious. Yes.
Lakers games are something that every celebrity goes to. They all have their courtside seats. Remember, like the famous shots of Jack Nicholson always sitting courtside back when, you know, he could stand upright and do things. But yeah, Bob, this has got to be the ultimate Hollywood status symbol for Bob, and this is exactly what he wants.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, celebrities from all up and down Southern California actually come out to attend Lakers games, especially when they are doing well in the various seasons right there, especially, you know, finals and all of that. It's a big deal, but what better status symbol than, you know, instead of getting courtside seats, owning the actual team.
Oh,
very interesting right there.
And now Taylor Swift and all of those people, like, they're all guests of Bob Iger now. They're in Bob Iger's house when they step into that. So with the sale of the team, does that include the arena? Does the owner of the team own the arena?
I have to look into that.
Sometimes usually, I know, like, the Cons I know own the Jacksonville Jaguars, the football team, and they own the arena there as well. So I'm not exactly certain.
Depends on the league, depends on the venue, depends on all of, you know, there's a bunch of things. In this case, I don't think so, because I don't think you can actually, you know, purchase a team and the actual land and the actual arena itself for that much. It might be actually considerably more, just given the circumstances. Go ahead.
Now, I don't know where the Lakers like corporate offices are. I'm sure that Bob's going to have a very nice office. Word has it, Vash, that they are currently installing the shower in the office as we speak.
Absolutely. That is, I believe that was maybe terms of the deal right here. It's actually negotiated about Bob Iger.
People
must have a crowd.
Some people, when they retire, maybe they they get into a hobby. They buy a drone. Maybe they get a metal detector and walk the beach. Bob Iger buys the Lakers. I cannot believe he had that much money laying around. I mean, obviously, I know that like he's not putting up the whole 12 billion, but he's got to be putting up at least a few billion if he's working with Kushner.
Yes.
So the Lakers were valued at approximately 10 billion when Walter acquired control. The new transaction reportedly values the franchise at 12.5, an increase of 2.5 billion or 25% in less than a year. There's no way this team went up 25% in value in a year.
Yeah, I don't really think so right there. What did go, I guess, up in value, at least when looking at this transaction as well, from the buyer's perspective, right? They got a fusion of cash, obviously, with partnering with some folks. And now, as we know, Marvin, Bob Iger is fantastic at spending other people's money. Which is why it was like no price too large right there. By the way, I did look into it, and Schutz Entertainment Group is actually the owners of the Staples Center, with the Lakers actually being a tenant within that building. Makes sense, but it's still way too high for... go ahead, please.
You're trying to think of how the valuation could have gone up so much. I'm looking at it. The Lakers have not won the league since 2020. Was the last time that they won the championship. So it's been 6 years since they've won. And in 2024 to 2025 season, they went 50-32, finishing third in the Western Conference. While it's not a terrible season, that's also not like that's also not the 25% higher valuation. If they had just won the league, that would be one thing. Like if they were a championship team, like fresh off of their win with like an unstoppable roster, then I could see being like, yeah, I could flip this team for far more than it's worth. But I think this is another example of Bob Iger paying more for something than it's worth. We saw that with Fox, where he was willing to, he would pay any amount of somebody else's money to make sure that he got Fox.
Right.
And we saw how that went. I mean, he spent well above market value for Fox, and now apparently doing so again.
Of course, and then you have to realize, if you're paying above market rate for this team, can you actually make it worth your while? Now, it might just be as simple as, they approached the previous owner who had just, finalized their deal back in October of 2025, and it might have been just, hey, you got to make it worth my while. You had to make it worth it for me to actually let this go, and maybe that $2 billion increase in valuation right there was the thing that actually got this deal going right there. It's very interesting, Marvin, when looking at the history of Bob Iger wanting a professional team, because I believe his wife is coach or something for some female soccer or volleyball team. I'm not quite sure with that. I haven't gone extensively into Willow Bay's history in quite some time. But what's very, very interesting, Marvin, is that I've had a theory for a long time about a particular element of Walt Disney World. I believe you remember maybe perhaps the NBA experience. Well, what is interesting about that is that 7 years ago this day, August 12th, 2019, is when the NBA experience officially opened. And who was in attendance right there? Bob Iger and Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA. And I was always looking at that and going, Bob Iger does not come out for anything.
Yeah, no, he does not. He's not coming out for the opening of a location in Disney Springs. It's not like he wasn't there when Six Ravens opened their doors a couple weeks ago.
Right, and I mean, it would be preposterous to believe that the CEO of the Walt Disney Company would actually come out for the opening of anything on Disney Springs, and we've historically quite never seen him at any of these openings for any of these big attractions and so forth ever. Right. Well, outside of one time, noteworthy, when the Adventures Continue, Star Tours The Adventures Continue actually opened, he was there with George Lucas, and we do know from his book and other resources that is what started the negotiation to actually acquire Star Wars. So if it's in Iger's best interests, he will be there. And so it was like, why is he there with Adam Silver? And then the news, after he actually retires from the Walt Disney Company, suggests that he wanted the Phoenix Suns for himself. That deal fell through, and then we hear most recently that he's getting in bed with some other players to acquire a team, maybe set up a franchise in Vegas, which is very, very interesting. Now, this is the culmination of all of that effort right there. So 7 years to the day, NBA experience. Bob Iger finally got his team.
So Iger and Kushner said in a joint statement, as lifelong NBA fans, we are deeply honored for the opportunity to become stewards of the Los Angeles Lakers, one of the most iconic sports franchises in the world. We have immense respect for the leadership and vision of Jerry and Jeannie Buss. Our long-term commitment is to build on that foundation, compete at the highest level, and serve this extraordinary team, its fans, and the city of Los Angeles. I said it like Stone Cold Steve Austin there. But so Iger is now 75 years old, attaching himself to another of the most recognizable entertainment brands in the world. He is not new to professional sports ownership. He previously invested in Angel City Football Club, one of the national women's soccer leagues. This is a bit bigger than that, though, I would say. But his partnership with Kushner doesn't begin with the Lakers, Vash. He joined Thrive Capital, the venture capital firm founded by Kushner earlier this year. The pair had also been involved in efforts to secure potential NBA expansion, as you said, in Las Vegas. Rather than waiting for the NBA to determine whether and when it would expand, Iger and Kushner have now landed something significantly bigger, which is control of the Lakers. And as I said, this is a status symbol if there ever was one. I mean, this is massive for Bob. So there you have it, guys. Bob Iger, now owner of the Lakers. Now, I know Ken Reinhardt said in the chat here that wins and losses have nothing to do with team valuation. I have no idea what goes into team valuation. I am not a basketball guy or a sports guy, you know, in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, Bob Iger owning the Lakers, guys. What do you think about it? Is this going to be a major win for Bob Iger, or is this going to be just another franchise that Bob Iger drives into the ground?
Go fund yourself, Bob.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.